All right, welcome to another edition of AP Statistics. It's your boy, Mr. Vrandrick, coming at you from the 101. Let's do this. Room 101. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. You just ruined my intro. It's all good. Okay, Reexpressing data. This is chapter 10. For a few weeks now, I've been telling you that if you have things go wrong when you're doing linear regression, like if you notice it's not linear, or if you notice in the residuals plot there's a curve, then we need to re-express data. Okay, so we're going to use our calculators heavily this week. Heavily. We're going to bring in functions from algebra and pre-calculus and calculus that you've been looking at for a couple years now, like logarithms. Yay! Oh man, I love logs. Yes, I love logs. Especially Lincoln logs. Anybody? Lincoln logs?
Oh my god.
Oh man, no? Okay. That was my childhood, back in the 60s. So here we go. Anyone listening to this is probably thinking, wow, that guy's really old. Okay. So, first thing I want you to notice is if you look at this relationship, you might see a curve, right? Most students probably see that curve there. Are you okay, Stephen? What's wrong? Okay. You only have 47 minutes, okay, and then we're done. Okay, so you might see a curve here, but when you look at the residuals plot, you see a more pronounced curve, all right? So is it appropriate to use whatever regression model that you have made for this data? No is the answer, okay, no. All right, so I'm going to show you today how we can use the calculator to re-express some or all of our data so that we can still use all of the functions that I taught you when you do linear regression. Okay? That's the goal of this week. Now, the quiz on Thursday will be another problem like we've been doing, where I give you the problem, ask you all these questions, and yes, I'm going to ask you to re-express some or all of the data. Okay? Now, the hardest thing about this week is that students ask me, when do I know that I'm done? You don't. Okay? And you'll see what I mean. All right? That's the hardest part about this week. How do I know? All right. Shall we continue? Why don't we get this one? Why don't we get this one on the way back, Stephanie? We'll circle back. All right, let's try this one. So here are the two goals for re-expression. These are the two goals. Either you're trying to make the scatter plot look more linear, or you're trying to make the spread in this scatter plot more even. Bless you. So in the first one, you can see we have a distinct curve there. And you'll notice if you look at the axis titles, you'll see the log, of sales. And on the y's, your assets. And then they decided to take not only the log of their x values, but also the log of their y values. And magically, it's created something linear that we can use all of our tools. I know, it's magic. Yes? The calculator. Now, your brain might be asking, Roberto, how do you know when to use what? Right? How do I know if I want to use logs for this one or that one or both? Okay? And that's going to set me up for something called the ladder of powers. So this is it right here. All right? So what we've been doing for the last 3 weeks is this one here, a power of 1. Okay? So this is just the data as given. Now you're going to see this week that that's not going to cut it. It's not going to look linear in the scatter plot, or the residuals plot is going to show a pattern. So we can't do what we've been doing. So that's why we're going to try squaring the y values. We'll try taking the square root of the y values. We'll try taking the logarithms. Maybe we'll do a reciprocal square root, 1 over the square root. What? Or we'll even do just 1 over the data, reciprocal. I'm going to walk you through this, don't worry. All right, and the calculator can do it all for you very quickly. They're pretty nifty. All right, but if you don't have your calculator, is that your calculator or is that the borrowed one? Sad. All right. Now, What I tell students when we finish this unit is that on the AP exam, 9 times out of 10, if they want you to do something with reexpression, they're going to use logarithms. Okay? So we're going to spend some time about logarithms.
Time for your question.
Great question, Tanya.
Okay.
All right. I think you'll find out why I was silent. Are you okay, Jacob? I know, right? Papers have backsides. It's craziness. What? All right. Now, we're going to go incremental here. So we would go step by step with logs. We would just take the log of the y values. Like, okay, that didn't really work. Then we try, okay, just log of x and y. Then we would try the log of both. Okay? Now, I will caution you that in doing this process, some of you out there, I already have in my mind who it's going to be. We'll find out. I do this every year, so it's fun. There's some of you out there that are perfectionists. Okay? And that you're like, I want it to be perfect. There's a little tiny curve maybe in my residuals. Okay? So don't, just try your best to re-express and keep those goals in mind. Okay? You're trying, nice, right? Try your best to re-express. Yeah. Just lost it. Goal 1 is to make the scatter plot more linear. Goal 2 is to make it more evenly spread out. Okay? That's all we're trying to do here. All right.
Are you trying to accomplish one or both goals?
Both goals if possible. Now, you might not need to accomplish both if you don't have to, but yes, both goals. Now, you might be wondering, why not just use a quadratic relationship as opposed to a linear? Now, a couple of reasons. Number one, not this class. It's not an intro course. Okay, that's a course for college. Some of you will take it. Enjoy. And we get a lot more. We have the ability to say a lot more when we use linear relationships. Okay? So I've been kind of asking you guys for weeks now to interpret the slope and the y-intercept. And with all of that work, I want to get the payoff from having you do that. So that's why we're going to focus on finding linear relationships. Okay, so now would be the time to make sure you have your calculator at hand, because we are going to flip it over. All right? So thank you for everyone out there for listening to our video on data re-expression. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. Trying to get to 100 subscribers. We out. 3, I think.